All right, guys. So hey, first of all, August 10th and 11th, Atlanta, Georgia. A yes, no, really fast. You guys are gonna get sent a link probably later tonight or first thing in the morning in your email. If you've given me a verbal yes, thank you for that. We will still have you guys register. We'll need some information about your team, who's all gonna be there. My intent is to oversell this event. I have a target of 100 people being on the floor. If you're showing up, you must bring a uniform. No one will sit down. We'll be active for 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday morning. And a few of you guys have reached out to, I need a yes or no very fast about Sunday night because we have a special event and I have a limited amount of tickets. All right. So just want to give you a heads up. I'm teaching 8 hours of content. I do have support. Coach Cameron will be there. Coach Albert's going to be there on the floor with me. Possibly Coach Travis will be there as well too. But I'm leading the whole show for 8 hours and you're physically going to be on the floor training with me. So that's going to start us off with right now. Poor. I'm not talking about financial poor, but poor. Okay. Poor, then average, all right, then good, then great, then excellent, then remarkable. When you hear these words, the first thing is I said was poor. I believe a lot of you guys have a poor or maybe an average product happening on the martial arts floor, or maybe I don't care what the business is. At best, it might be average. Now, how do I know that? How do I know it might be at best average? Well, so far, a couple people we've talked to today is play the analogy out. Everybody should take a pen and paper right now, and you should just write the number down of how many people are going to be on the mat tonight, in your classroom floor, okay? If the number is less than 6 digits, 7 digits, 8 digits, 9 digits, you're probably average, okay? Aaron, that's impossible. We can't have 600,000 people on the floor. Exactly my point, okay? You're probably going to have tonight of a school with 200 members. Some of you guys have 200 members or less. You're going to have 80 people on the floor tonight, 90 people on the floor tonight, maybe 100 people on the floor tonight. You're telling me you're supposed to be great at your job, maybe even excellent at your job, and you only have 100 people that want to listen to you? You're not. And so the first thing is you just got to admit that you have a problem. The problem is you're not actually great yet. You're not excellent yet. You're definitely not remarkable. All right. If you're a salesperson, if you don't have 30 appointments today, okay, because you're like, if you're not double, triple booked, if you have any white space on your calendar, guys, at best we're average. It's okay just to be honest. At best we're average. We celebrate too small of a victory. So how do we become from poor to average, average to good? How do we just get good? All right. How do we just get good? Well, the way to get good is we got to first just say, hey, we require ourselves to be better. I've got to be better. It's got to be better. How are you going to be better? Like if you're not getting up every single morning and asking yourself that question, how am I better today? How am I physically better, mentally better, emotionally better? Like back in the day, you would read a book in school and you take a test, right? Somebody would teach you a lesson, you read, you take a test at the end of the week. And you knew where you stacked up. Well, how often are you guys being tested? You should be tested every single day. Because every single day someone's either joining or quitting, joining or quitting, joining or quitting. And so sometimes you got to get clear with the idea that at best, maybe we're average, maybe good, but definitely not a lot of great people right here. And that's okay. All right. How do we know? How do we know? When you don't have to ask for referrals, people will give them to you. When you have to ask for a referral, you got to beg for it. You got to trick them into giving a t-shirt or giving them some money or giving them like some kickback. Man, when you are great and moving excellent, people are bringing people and things to you. So I would always play this game. Aaron, man, if you're so good at this, why do you only have 300 kids in your program? Why? At my peak, my company only had 3,000 kids. Why so few? Why so few? When at church, Cameron volunteered at a church, they would have 2,000 people in one session on a Sunday, right? In an hour, 2,000 people flock. And that would be the whole company at my biggest. And I was better than that church, in my opinion, because I had better people. And that was in one community, and we were in multiple communities. So how do we get better? These are the questions you guys should be asking yourself. So my instructors, first thing is, if you have 17 kids on the floor, do all individuals on the floor know how much you actually care? Side note, do their parents. And if you tell me, well, we don't have enough room for those parents to be here, or they're drop-off parents. They are drop-off parents because you have not given them a reason to be entertained, educated by you. If they're being entertained by you better than their Netflix account or their Facebook, social media, if they were better entertained by you, they would sit there and watch. If they were better educated by you, they would sit there and watch. But they rather watch House of Dragons or whatever the show is, right? They'd rather turn on their HBO Max and watch that in the car to come listen to you teach their kids because you're in old hat. You're the same thing over and over again. By the way, when you have a kid throw a punch like this, and you don't teach them to rotate it over, and their other hand or their hands are here and they think they got their hands up, and you don't correct it, it's no different than the kid who doesn't put up their stuff. And you're like, hey, Lakin, I need you to go put up everything. They don't do it. You don't correct it. They leave. They don't come back, and you don't say anything about it. They know they didn't do their job. Hey, Lakin, have you brushed your teeth? Yes, I did. Let me smell your breath. Oh, my goodness. No, you didn't. Go brush them again. And then you don't correct the fact that they didn't tell you the truth. When you let things slide and you don't have a standard, there's always or nevers. So how does your product become better? Okay, that's a question I'm gonna give you guys a chance to answer. I want some feedback on how does your product get better? What can you take initiative on today? What can you take initiative on today? How can your product be better? And before you tell me that you're the best instructor ever, that you actually are excellent, if you were excellent, you'd have 1,400 kids or 2,000 kids, not 87, not 92. Salespeople, if you looked at your appointment calendar this week, how many actual appointments, if you have a 40-hour work week and you took an hour per appointment, let's say you have 10 hours of admin work, and it gives you 30 hours of actual labor time, that's 30 appointments this week. If you're slow and suck, okay, because some appointments are 20 minutes, let's say some are 90, let's just say you're slow, it takes you an hour to do what somebody else can do in 20. If you have 30 available appointment times, does anyone here not have 30 appointments? And if you have 30 appointments, if there's a white space today, does anybody have an hour of white space today? You're a salesperson, you have 1 hour white space. Here's what you should do. You should look at tomorrow's appointments or Wednesday's appointments right now after this call. Hey, Mrs. Smith, listen, I know I have you scheduled for 5 o'clock tomorrow. I just got some availability today. It's at 4:45. I really like you to go ahead and come in today and go and get started with Billy. Are you available to come in today? If I don't get an answer from them, I call the next person that's on tomorrow. I call everybody on tomorrow's appointments until I fill up that white space. Because what I do know about human beings is even though they're on the schedule for tomorrow or on the schedule for Wednesday, stuff happens. And if I got white space today, I need to bring tomorrow's appointments to today to make it happen today. And if my appointments, I call 3 people and I don't get an answer, then all of a sudden all 3 of them show up at the same time, then I deal with a great problem in front of me then. But I don't want white space on my calendar if I'm a salesperson because I make money off of commission. And if I'm not selling people, I'm not making as much money as I can. And I need to take tomorrow's appointments or Wednesday's appointments or Thursday's appointments and find a way to bring them to today. Because I don't want white space to twiddle my thumbs because it's a momentum. And momentum is a hard thing to get. And once you get it, you do not want to slow it down. So if I have 30 available appointments throughout the week and I don't have 30 appointments, I want to front load as much as I can. I want to bring Fridays and Thursdays and Wednesdays all the way to today. And I want to have a written offer ready to go. And I want to try to close as many deals as possible. So if 30 appointments, like Cameron has 28 available appointments for next week, 28. His goal this week is to get 28 filled. I've got how many people on this list, Cameron, for me to fill for you? So as soon as they're on the calendar, I've got 170 people to try to fill 28 spots. Of those
175.
175 to fill up 28 spots. I'm going to double book most of these. Okay, so as soon as Cameron says, hey, the calendar's ready, Aaron, go. I'm calling them, I'm sending them a link, I'm scheduling an appointment. I'm going to do the 175 phone calls. I'm going to double call everybody. Does everybody know what double call means? Crystal, you know what double call means? Anybody else besides Crystal know? Alexis knows what Alexis, can you teach me what a double call? Let's see if she knows. Let's test it out. Yay, let's go. What does it mean?
Is double call when you call, you leave a voicemail and then you call again?
Double call is I call, it goes to voicemail, I immediately call right back. Now, why would you do that? Because most people, they don't see your number, so they think it's a spam call. But when you call back a second time, there's a higher probability, I think it's like 70-something% higher probability they answer the second time around. Because they
They're
don't
also
think,
normally not near their phone as well. So like they hear it, they don't get to their time, and then they're just like, eh.
yeah,
So
exactly, right? But if it's an undisclosed number, they don't like, I don't know this number, that's a weird number. But if you call it right back, they're like, oh, okay, it must be somebody, let me answer it. So I'm going to call 175 people myself. I'm going to double call these people. I'm going to drop them a link right afterwards. And then I'm going to try to book a call next week. I'm going to take 175. I'm going to get 28 appointments booked for Cameron next week. And I know of 28, how many people think actually make their appointment? Half? But I know I'm going to double book these calls because what's the worst that's going to happen? Cameron's got 2 people on the call. Great. And if he can't handle 2 at one time, he's got a problem. Means skills have to improve. Okay, so here we go. Somebody put your virtual hand up when you have the answer. I would like to know if you're a martial arts teacher right now. If you're a martial arts teacher, you're first up. How today on a Monday, give me one action step that you actually can make your product better. Better is better. Don't need more, better. I want somebody to put their virtual hand up and I want you to give me an answer. Look, we got another guy on here with the C word, Clovis. I got a Clovis on here. I like it. All right, who we got? We had a call a minute ago with everybody with the C name. It was pretty cool. All right. Come on, Chini. You up. Unmute yourself. Let's rock and roll. Tell me something you're going to do physically today on the floor to make your class better.
I'm going to hold my students accountable and set the standard for them to meet and not lower my standards for them. No,
Stay here.
many things.
Did everybody hear what she said? Everybody just kind of like put your hands like this, wave around like you just don't care. Everybody do it if you heard her. Everybody do some crazy stuff. Come on, Carolyn. Let me see some dances. Carolyn's got a birthday coming up. She's gonna be 30, getting old. All right, can everybody hear her? There you go, Alexis. Good Lord, Alexis is getting all fancy. Debbie, I didn't see your fanciness. Debbie didn't hear you. Okay, there we go, Debbie. All right.
Okay, I look like Elaine from Seinfeld when I try to do anything fancy.
I take it. I like Elaine. Elaine back in the day. Yeah, okay. Go Elaine. All right, now here we go. Miss Cercini. Did everybody hear what she said? She gave me a bunch of fluff. We want no damn fluff. We want the real deal. So I'm going to ask again. You're going to give me a better answer. The better answer is I want specifics, specifics. Not some, I'm going to hold them to a higher standard because please, God, help me. You do that every day. Give me something specific you're going to do today on the floor. I was tuning in, watching your class. I'm like, there it is. She just did it. I'm listening.
I'm working on a direct statement so that it's not fluffy.
All right. I'll come back to you. Who's got one for me? Somebody, virtual hand up in the air. Unhand yourself there, Saracini. I need somebody with the courage and confidence to not be skirt right now and tell me something very specific you're going to do on the floor today. Man, I got a tough audience here. I'll give you an example. I'll give you one example. Okay.
Hey, I can get one, Aaron.
Let's go, Chuck. Let's go, Big Chuck. Come on, Charles.
Hey, yeah,
how you doing, man? Good to see you,
I
sir.
got something that I want to share, man, because I'm having a hard time getting this together, brother. Speaking much clearly and giving better examples of what I'm trying to teach the kids. I have tended to talk kind of fast, so I know that some of the times when I'm speaking to my students, they don't understand. So I need to put that
Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth?
Huh? Huh?
Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth?
Exactly, bro. I have to say that a lot of time, man. Not being funny, but Aaron, I find myself doing that, man. I have to repeat it so many times. So I wrote on my sheet right here, speak much clearer, because I think that would help me if I slow it down some when I'm explaining to kids. I know it, I know it. So everybody don't know it. So I can't speak as fast as my students, like they can catch on that fast. You know what I mean?
So hold on a second. You're saying you're going to speak more clearer,
Mm-hmm.
slower,
with
the intent that people have a better way to understand the words coming out of your mouth.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now practice with me. Teach me something right now on the call. Teach me a technique right now.
All right, Aaron.
Action.
All right. How you doing, Mr. Hensley? Doing okay there, sir?
Teach
all right,
me
today
something.
we're going to work on the cross punch. And with the cross punch, when you're doing the cross punch, don't forget to turn it over when you're doing the cross punch. So now, follow along with me. Ready? Slowly, turn it over.
Okay. So is that slower than you normally would talk to me?
Yeah, probably. I'm guessing. Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
not bluffing nothing, brother.
Listen,
'Cause I
listen,
talk
listen.
pretty
Hold on a
fast.
second. Everybody hear me good. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay, everybody listen to me. You have always, you have nevers. You have always, you have nevers. You very rarely have anything in the middle. Everybody got me? So if I want my students to have a higher standard, like Sarah was talking about, if I want my students to actually improve, if I want to go from poor to average, maybe one day to become remarkable, how I treat, how I behave, how I represent is what I get back in return. So if I want my students to have more respect of the martial arts floor, and I want them to bow when they enter the mat, guess what they need to see me do? They need to see me bow. If I want them to wear their full gi and tie their belt, guess what I have to wear? I can't say you guys have to wear the full gi, but watch me, I'm going to wear t-shirts and shorts and go teach whatever the hell I want to. So even how we speak to each other, we need to represent, because we're putting into practice the version we want them to see from us. Everybody with me on this? So Charles, if you want to speak more clear with more intent, when you practice, it cannot be occasionally, it's got to be all the time. When you do that, claim your intent. Second is always do things with enthusiasm. People should feel the music from your voice if you're a teacher. You are the music, not the music. Matter of fact, music doesn't need to exist in the audience, because you're the music, you're the energy. When you watch me teach in Atlanta in 3 weeks from now, I am the energy. So let's try this again. Teach me how to do the cross. Be clear. Let me understand what's going on, but do it with some enthusiasm right now.
All right, now, all right, Mr. Hensley, put your hands up there, sir.
Boom.
All right. Don't forget the key out when you put them hands up. Put your hands up.
Hi-ya!
There we go, sir. All right, now give me a little bit of energy. All right, now today we're gonna work on the cross punch. And with the cross punch, this is one of the strongest punches in martial arts. We're gonna rotate over every punch and bring it right back. We see rotate. One more time, Mr. Hensley, without me. There we go. Again, don't forget to hide that chin there. Gotta hide that chin, right? Hide that chin. Don't forget, don't get knocked out on that.
Pretty. I want
Yeah.
to stick it up like this.
No, you gotta put it down there, Mr. Hensley. You gotta put it
All
down.
right.
So I don't want you to get knocked out, sir. So you gotta make sure you do it correctly.
Good job.
All
Okay,
right.
so you're
Go
telling
ahead.
me you're going to speak with intent so people understand you. How are you going to know they understand you? You got to get feedback.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's what I want to hear. You guys see how I did that with him? Role played.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys got to do the same thing. All right, who's next up? Crystal, you had your hand up. Let's go, Crystal. Come on, Crystal. Where you at, Crystal? Crystal.
I'm here, sir.
Let's go. Have you ever had some Crystal?
So actually I have.
Oh, let's go.
So I'm not on the floor teaching, but I'm going to make sure that every member and parent I use their first name today, and then ask them how their time was off and just build relationships, see how everybody's doing, how they liked our graduation, and just trying to get some feedback from our current members and our new members.
You're going to use everybody's first name. What's my first name?
Aaron, sir.
Woo! Failure. That ain't my first name. It's just the name I go by. It's okay though.
It's your first name for me, sir.
It is. Okay, so now listen. So you're telling me when everybody comes in the door, you're gonna say, hey Crystal, hey Cameron, hey Sarah, hey, how was 4th of July? How was your holiday? How was your time off?
Yes, sir.
Now they're gonna say something back. Now try role play with me. Let's do it.
Okay. Good afternoon, Aaron. How was your holiday?
Hi, hey Crystal, it's great to see you. It was good. It was awesome. It was good.
So your holiday was good. What did you do?
I just ate a lot of food, drank a lot of stuff, some Cristal. I had some Cristal.
That sounds great. Did you miss us?
Yeah,
Sir, that is not the answer I was looking for.
Yeah, I missed you, Crystal. I missed you.
You might have to do some burpees for Mr. Ethan
What?
and Mr. Andrew now.
Burpees?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Burpees. I'm the daddy. Daddies don't do burpees.
Oh, they do in our studio, sir.
Dang. I guess I'm going to Taekwondo after this. Taekwondo. All right, now, everybody see that? Very easy to do. Now, one of the things you have to do, though, Crystal, is you have to understand when sometimes you ask certain questions, you're going to get answers so like you're setting me up to give you an answer you're not really going to want.
Okay.
So ask better questions, because you already know someone's going to come in, they're going to give you a bunch of surface stuff. Oh, it was good. Oh yeah, I had some fireworks. Yeah, we ate some hot dogs. Yeah, I had a couple beers. Yeah, watch the mustard belt. Like it's the same, like you're going to get that 40 times. That's not
Right.
really what you're going after. Like, what do you really are trying to do? Like, what's your ultimate goal?
Well, so a lot of them, I know what they did on the holiday because I see them on social media. So I typically would have seen what they did and I try and post so they know I actually saw. Like, hey, Carter, I saw you doing your bow staff at by the pool. That was super cool. So I'm going to put a specific thing so they know I'm watching them when I'm not there.
Okay.
But you threw me when you were like, let's
Damn.
do it
Wait,
now. And I was
Are you
like,
Santa
shit.
Claus? Are you Santa Claus? You watch them when they're not there. Good Lord. Oh my goodness.
I mean, they watch me when I'm not here. So
All right. So you're saying is, hey, Cameron, man, I saw that you were at the pool over this weekend. It looked like you had a lot of fun. All right.
Right, I would
you're
do
gonna
more of that.
drop that in there, right?
right.
Okay. Well, ultimately though, what are you trying to gather? What are you trying to gather from this?
Just relationship things so I know what interests them, so I know like what they enjoy in their off time, and then I kind of build a relationship there so they see an interest outside of the floor and in them personally.
Okay. 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 Using first names, dropping hints so they know you recognize. All right. I'm gonna take it next step further. Who's in
Yes,
that
sir.
school with you tonight besides yourself?
Working?
Yeah.
Ethan, Andrew, and Travis.
Okay. Is Ethan and Andrew full-time, part-time?
Part-time.
Okay. What about, do you have any CIT? You have any leadership kids? Anybody like that?
I'll have 2 leadership kids that come in tonight, like in a specific class.
Perfect. Here's what I would like you to do. I'd like you to do this in front of them and tell them ahead of time, hey, watch me when I do this. And then see if they can do it themselves.
Okay.
See, what's even better in your position now is you need to protect that business. And the way you protect the business is make sure it's not sustainable just if you're physically presently there. And the only way you're going to do that is you have to start dropping the hints and planting the seed as a culture, not a crystal. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So take one of these kids, let's say the leadership kid's 12 years old, and I would go, hey, Jackson, hey, watch what I'm about to do. I'm going to go create some engagement. I'm going to create some connection. I'm going to create some community. Watch me do this. Then you go do what you did. You say, hey, Jackson, did you see what I did? And then I say, when they say, yeah, I did, what did you see? I'm testing it. Well, you did X, Y, Z. Okay. Hey, here's how I did that. All right. Now Billy's about to come in, and Billy's was in Disney World for the weekend. I want you to kind of go make a little connection with them and see. They're gonna be all nervous and anxious. Maybe they won't be. They go do it. Then you give them feedback. What if you took those 2 kids and then the 2 part-time people who are probably teaching classes and doing all that kind of stuff? If you took those 4 people and you help them do at least one active engagement where you coach them through it tonight. 4 people,
Okay.
1 action. Okay. Tell me right now, if I was these leadership kids, if I was a 12-year-old kid, tell me when I ever get that training in life. You don't. You don't. One of the greatest things, my instructors on the floor, I'll give you something right now. Kids do not learn how to shake hands. They do not learn how to shake hands. Guess one of the first things someone does when you go to meet them? Hey, my name's Aaron. What's your name? Boom. And a 9-year-old kid does not learn how to shake hands anymore. And if they do, they don't look at somebody in the eyes. They're down here. How about teaching somebody how to hold open the door today? Cameron, what's their topic of the month right now?
Ours is kindness.
Kindness. Oh, I love that. See, look, what about, instead of talking about it, what if you demonstrate, hey kids, let's demonstrate kindness to our families, all right? And then you teach them something in present sense in front of everyone, and then you put it in an actual practice in the moment. Hey guys, actually guys, let's be kind to our equipment. Let's learn how to actually properly take care of our equipment when we take it off, and how do we treat our stuff with kindness, because our parents spend their hard-earned money and their time, they traded their time for money so they can have this stuff for us so we can train. Let's treat us with kindness, and here's how we do it. And you show them how to do it, and then you make them dump all the stuff on the floor and see if they actually can do it, because you test them in front of you. You guys got to test your students every class, not once a quarter. Product's got to get better. So if you are a great martial arts educator, matter of fact, you're just a great educator, you teach, you ask for feedback. Your teacher probably called it a pop quiz back in the day. Yeah, teach based on the corrections that need to happen there. So I teach a skill, teach a technique, teach an idea, teach a concept. I test out how much they're listening and paying attention. I get feedback. I require feedback. I make corrections and reteach to those corrections. Then I get feedback loop again, teach those corrections. I do that until they own the skill. And how do they own the skill? You can only teach them what you know. So I make them teach it to themselves or someone else. So if I was going to teach kindness, I can teach the concept, the idea, then I test out the theory with them. I give some corrections so they have a better understanding of it. Then I do it again until they behave and act in accordance on their own. And then they can stand in front of their little sibling and have that same kind of conversation. So that's how I don't have people punching like this in their black belts and they're doing hammer fists, or they're doing set position with the toes turned out and they're black belts because no one corrected them as a white belt. Because you're not seeing it. And then the parents are on the devices on Netflix or on Facebook because you never entertained and educated because you're too focused just on the karate. And you didn't have a high standard because you're worried about a student quitting. You need to almost give up the idea of anything that you're doing other than the fact that I've got one class and one opportunity to educate and entertain this person. And they're probably never coming back. Like, play the game. Like, this is the last class. There's actually an instructor creed. I will teach this class as if it's the last class I'll ever teach. What if you took that idea? What if everything you approached had enthusiasm behind it? Because what if it was their last class they ever took as martial arts? Matter of fact, you guys understand when people quit, they took their last martial arts class from you. From you. You guys ever had anybody break up with you? You know what's crazy? I've had two people that I know of that I can say right off the bat. Two people that actually three people after they broke up with me or I broke up with them, whichever way it was, the very next person they married. The very next person. And I'm like, did they settle for the very next person? Because like I set the bar so high and they're like, shit, I'll take anybody who's just even close to that. Did I set the bar too low maybe? And they're like, oh, anybody's better than him. Let's take that, whatever. But three people that I know of, and it could be more. Maybe that's the thing. I might have a thing going on right now. I might be able to market this, Cameron. Hey, after you break up with me, the very next person, you get the love of your life. What is that's a marketable thing? That'd be pretty awesome. Wonder what I could charge. You want to find love? You got to date me first. And the very next person you're going to find, bam. Okay. But anyway, my point is, what if you set the bar, they quit, and you set the bar so high, they can't even think about going to another martial arts class before because anything else would be settling. Not the other way around. I don't want to think about it as if, God bless it, I'm glad I quit that class because that instructor sucked. And like, soccer is better than karate right now. Like, let's go do soccer. Okay, I think it is. Good job, Lewis. Like if they quit you and go to soccer, you guys better just like find the bridge highest up in the air, poof, jump. Okay. All right. Better. Two T's in there, guys, just so you know. Mo and a better. Mo better. All right, so poor, average, good, great, excellent, remarkable, Atlanta, Georgia. I'll give you one great example. There's a guy who won a competition this weekend with a bow staff, and he's awesome. He can swing that thing faster than almost anybody I've ever seen before. But there's a very simple strike pattern called a 4-point strike with the bow staff. If you ever done bow staff, you probably know how to do it. And this kid, well, he's not a kid, he's an adult. When he does this 4-point strike, one of the most basic elements, he doesn't have one single target when he's doing his strikes. And it drives me crazy that somebody can be the world champion, be considered the best at that weapon right now, currently, but the most simple strike can't do properly because actually the people judging him probably don't even know who to look for. Why does that even matter? Well, obviously the goal is to have a standard where martial arts, even in a performance level like competition, the skill, the talent, the performance, all should matter. And if I had to lean one way, at least the skill of being martial arts focused first, outside of performing, outside of showmanship, all those things should be second, third, and fourth on the list. And if you, I'd imagine if I did a jab over here and a cross over here, and I look like I'm doing a Taibo class, but then I'm wearing a black belt with 4 stripes on it. Like there's a problem, there's a disconnect. At least if I can hit with my 2 big knuckles, right? Well, we can tell that. And I've got one hand offense, and this is not defense, this is not defense, right? Like what am I protecting? Okay, like do kids even know? Obviously, like jawline, like do they understand? Like I'd rather get hit right here on the crown of my forehead. You know, those babies you can fall forward, that's the thickest part of your skull. I'd rather get hit there than to get hit here and get hit here. But they got their hands like this and they think their guard's up. Or they got their hands like this, they can't even see. Or they're punching like this because their guard starts here and they lift their elbow. And the instructor never sees this. And the kid's wearing a black belt. Or a red belt. Freaking a yellow belt. It's how you do anything, it's how you do everything. And if I swing it like this as a yellow belt, I'm probably gonna swing it like that when I'm a red belt. So I had one brave instructor tell me what they're doing today. Terracini tried, but it was not structured enough. I went to the point. I want you to tell me specifically, hey guys, today I'm going to do lineup procedures. When it's not right, we're going to do it again. And we're going to line up this way. We're going to do our student creed. We're going to turn our family. It's something specific that's measurable. It's called making a SMART goal. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I would like to see everybody on the call again tomorrow. Here's what I need. Write it down. I'd like you guys to be able to tell me, if you're a salesperson, how many appointments you brought from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and brought them to today because you were urgent to clear your white space. If you're the instructor on the floor, I'd like you to be able to tell me what you actually did to make your product better, because there's a reason why you only have 74 students or 97 students or 192 students. Because if you were TD Jakes, you'd have 30,000 people in your congregation and 6.1 million people on Instagram. Then you know you're moving the damn needle. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.